Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today for the Sayfty Self-Care Summit. I'm delighted to be speaking to you alongside so many brave and brilliant advocates for women. This event is a chance for you to meet, to exchange opinions and experiences, to establish connections and express ideas. While we can't be with each other in person, I very much hope that being separated by our screens won't limit us, and that the very special qualities of all our speakers and delegates will come across clearly. Ahead of us, we have a tremendous opportunity to reconnect with each other, to extend our reach and influence as organizations, and to act decisively and collectively together at this very important time for all women. Although we are meeting virtually, we're facing a crisis with very real impacts on women. Over the past year, the ability of the world's female leaders to lead the international response to COVID-19 has been highly praised. But it's no secret that since the beginning of the pandemic, life for women has also taken a giant step backwards globally. A reverse that the United Nations has predicted could take a decade to overcome. Over the past 16 months, we've seen international turmoil and change, with deep and historic inequalities rising to the surface. The role of women in the workforce is under threat, with fewer jobs and levels of pay falling for many women. At the same time, their childcare and domestic commitments have spiraled, with women doing 3 or 4 times the amount of unpaid work of men. Most worrying of all, we have seen a rapid increase in the number of women and girls suffering from physical violence. Even before 2020, the numbers of women who suffered as a result of domestic violence was shocking, with 1 in 3 women facing violence from a partner globally. 1 in 3. But these numbers have risen alarmingly since the pandemic began. As country after country announced lockdowns and the home was seen as a refuge, however, the increasing instances of domestic violence beget the question, is the home really a safe place for women? In India, where the government launched a stay home, stay safe appeal, for many thousands of women, home has not been that safe place. During the first phase of the lockdown, women filed more complaints of domestic violence than in any time over the past 10 years. And that is only one part of the story. With 86% of women who experience domestic violence never seeking help at all. The UN has referred to the rise in violence as the shadow pandemic. Globally, nearly 243 million women and girls between the age of 15 to 49 were subjected to sexual and/or physical intimate partner violence in the last year. In India, while rape and sexual assaults have declined by 119% in many areas due to a decrease in female mobility in public spaces, domestic violence complaints have risen by 131% in the same districts. The key to reversing this domestic violence epidemic is to shine a light on the shadows. To stop domestic violence against women, we must address the acceptability of this violence and stop homes being a place of fear. Attitudes towards violence play a vital role in both the incidence and reporting of these crimes against women, and additional interventions are needed to shift social norms and to change attitudes both for men and women. Across civil society, women's organizations like the Sayfty Trust are on the front line of this response. The Trust works at many different levels to address violence against women through education and empowerment, supporting communities by facilitating open conversations, hosting self-defense workshops, and encouraging women to speak up about their experiences with the aim of making a fundamental shift in how violence against women is perceived in society. The Trust also provides essential services for the survivors through the Sayfty Survivors Toolkit. These services give women and girls the urgent support they need to connect to helplines and healthcare and access mental and legal support, as well as the long-term guidance to help them navigate their future needs. Sexual violence has been a taboo topic for too long in India, but things are changing. Like Dr. Shruti Kapoor, I was deeply impacted by the horrific gang rape of Jyoti Singh in 2012 and the many incidents that have occurred since then. The stories that have come to light over the years have been excruciatingly painful, heartbreaking, and horrifying. From the start, I knew, like many others, that this was an issue that I couldn't stay silent about. That's why, as chairperson of the Villoo Poonawalla Foundation, I am proud to be collaborating with the Sayfty Trust and co-hosting this 2-day summit for women to create and build awareness. It is an acknowledged fact that women's rights and freedoms are essential to enhancing lives and building strong, resilient societies and economies. Yet we live in a nation where deeply ingrained social, cultural, and gender norms continue to make girls and women vulnerable. I was raised to believe that we can all be part of the changing world for the better, and the Villoo Poonawalla Foundation was created from this shared desire to enhance the lives of communities across society. The education of girls, boys, women, and men will play a major part in ending violence against women, and we must encourage and enable people of every walk of life to report violence when it takes place. Today, women are on the front line across the world. They are encouraged to compete with men in the workforce, yet carry a disproportionate responsibility for looking after their families, caring for relatives, and running the home. The pressures of the pandemic not only affect every woman, but also our ability to build stable communities. In this environment, self-care has never been more important. We need to encourage and empower every woman who is suffering the threat of violence as a result of this worldwide crisis. As we rebound from the pandemic, we need to provide them with the security of knowing they are safe and the opportunity to take their place in a better, fairer world, giving them the information, skills, knowledge, and confidence to take control of their own mental and physical health and surrounding them with a safe and supportive community. Across these discussions, let's carry with us this vision of a future without violence against women and children. We have a lot to do, but there is so much that we can achieve together. I hope you enjoy the summit, and thank you again for joining us today.